Hello there, people. I thought I'd do a bit of a Halloween horror recommendation because it's sort of one of my favourite genres, and I think there are some excellent films out there that sort of hit the sweet spot for this time of year. Um, I've chosen five films that I have enjoyed for various reasons. Um, I won't go into too much detail, but I'm going to give you a sort of rough idea of what these films are like, and maybe some warnings, something to think about when you're about to watch them, whether they're appropriate or not. Um, these films sort of range from depressing techno horrors to Evil Dead style hauntings. So yeah, there's quite a bit of a range here. Well, let's get into the list. Pulse, Kairo, 2001. So our first film is a horror film from Japan, from the early noughties. The general idea of this is the lonely dead invade our world through technology, and suddenly things go very wrong. That's all I'm going to say about the actual story. I think you need to obviously experience it for yourself, because, rather crucially, this film is all about atmosphere. It's all about building things up. So you need to, watch scene by scene and feel the dread, feel the tension grow. In this film, there is a particular scene that is considered to be one of the scariest of all time, and I would agree with it. I think it is pretty damn scary. But don't look it up. Please, if you are interested in any way with this film, do not watch it. Watch the scene out of context, because it just doesn't have the same impact versus actually watching it in the film. Because when I did watch it, there's a particular thing that happens in that scene that stole the air from my lungs. It was so shocking. Uh, it's hard to describe without spoiling it. So I just say, if you're interested in films with sort of existential threats, this is one for you. But if it's something that maybe upsets you, I'd probably steer clear, because again, it's not a happy film. Yeah, it's a good one. So if you're interested, Pulse, Kairo, 2001. Sleepy Hollow, 1999. So the next film on our list is a classic from Tim Burton. Obviously, very very popular director with the horror genre, and I think this is arguably his strongest one. Basically, the story is a small town named Sleepy Hollow is wrestling with a terrifying local legend that is haunting the townsfolk. Again, if you're familiar with the story of Sleepy Hollow, you know exactly what this local legend is. If not, I guess it's kind of hard to keep that as a surprise, given that it's on the posters. But if you can keep that as a surprise, that would be, I think, a nice little boost to the atmosphere of this film, which, in my opinion, perfectly encapsulates the Halloween spirit. It's got it's got pumpkins in it for starters. There's a very very clear scene where a pumpkin is used as a weapon. I can't get more Halloween than that. But also, it's a visual treat that often contrasts the greyness of 18th century America with gloriously red blood. You can follow the mystery and discover the origin of this local legend, or you can just allow yourself to be captivated by the memorable set pieces and excellent score by Danny Elfman. So either way, Sleepy Hollow is great for those who can tolerate a lot of blood and headless victims. So if you're a bit squeamish and you're not into the whole decapitation thing, maybe don't watch this one. But otherwise, I think it's a solid film. House LLC 2015. Our third entry covers the subgenre known as found footage. The other two, I should say the next two after this, also fall into this category. So if you're not a fan of this subgenre, you might not like this, but I would encourage you give it a go, because I think all three of them are solid films. And this one, Hell House, I'll just call it Hell House because saying the full name is a bit of a word salad, plays on the sort of haunted house trope in a literal sense and also in the entertainment sense, because the story is you have a group of haunted house creators who are setting up their next location. However, as more of the past is revealed, the world of demons and death blends with ours. Yeah, so it's a bit of a satanic type film. So again, if you're fond of the devil and devil worshipping, well, this film doesn't portray you in a particularly nice light. But if you're not a fan of those things, but you like them in films, this is one for you. So there's a little bit of cult stuff going on, and you know where the story is going from the first minute, because it's sort of set up. The framing device for this film is sort of like a pseudo documentary, basically about what has happened at this location, and we, as an audience, see this group and we know what's going to happen, but it's how it happens where we have the delights. This film's got spooky clowns, moments of great tension. There's a particular scene again that I can think of that really, really affected me in terms of just how scared it made me. But there are chances where you can relax. The safety, the daytime safety, that trope in horror films is here as well. However, really important, genuine warning, there is a scene in this film which has lots of flashing, which obviously is inappropriate for people who have like a photosensitive epilepsy or something of that effect. So if strobe lighting isn't your thing, there is one scene that's quite bad for it. So just a little warning for you. But if you can do something like that, if you can watch something like that, and you like satanic ghosts, yeah, this is a very, very good one. So yeah, House LLC. Deadstream, 2022. So another favourite of mine is Deadstream, which I actually watched quite recently, and I didn't know much about it, so I just heard good things. I heard it was a solid found footage film, and I did not expect the sort of blend of horror and comedy. If you're a fan of the Evil Dead series, I think this is going to hit those notes for you. It's going to get quite close. So if you like those films, I think you'll also like this. And the general premise is a disgraced live streamer ventures into a haunted house and attempts to communicate with the dead. The whole ordeal is live streamed to a record-breaking audience. So it's a bit of a parody of influencer culture and those types of people, and it was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, so I think it's a very solid film. I think it was relatively low budget in terms of the production, but I don't know what other context that phrase would apply, but in terms of how everything looks, I think it works. Some people may think the effects don't look great. I think the sort of cheesiness of the effects works perfectly for the tone of the film. If this film resonates with you, so you watch it and you find, oh, this is actually quite funny, I think the effects will be completely fine. Yeah, so it's a very good satire of that. The main character is well, he's a whinging man baby who never apologizes for his actions, and yet you somehow at the end kind of root for him. You know, he's tone deaf, insincere, and in any other context would be a bastard of the internet. But you know, there's just something about him that works. So yeah, I very much recommend this film. If you like watching cult stuff, demons, haunted houses, sort of body horror as well, and you want a good laugh, yeah, this one is for you. Deadstream 2022. Gonjiam Haunted Asylum 2018. So our final film is possibly one of the scariest films I've seen, and it pairs quite well with Deadstream as a sort of modern live stream horror. However, this one is not a comedy. The story is a group of horror enthusiasts stay at a haunted asylum, and yeah, they quickly realise they're in terrible danger. What a lovely setup for a story that is. Yeah, and now I'd heard about this one for a while before I actually watched it. I'd heard some very good things, but I never looked at trailers or pictures on the internet. I just didn't want to spoil myself. I just knew there was strong positive buzz behind it, and I think it earns that. This is probably one of the best modern horrors I've seen. Obviously, it's subjective, so you know someone might watch this and go, "Oh no, this is terrible," which you know that's fine. But in my opinion, I think this one is fantastic. If you again are engaged with the material, if you are properly invested in what's going on, and you want to see how things develop, yeah, you're going to have a great time. There are some really really good moments in this film, very memorable. The kind of scenes where you just need to sort of, you know, say very, you can describe it in the most basic way possible, and people know exactly what you mean. You know, like for example, with the haunting of Hill House, if you just say the car scene, people know exactly what you mean. So you know, when I say the face scene, I think people will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, but that's rather important, because for most of the film, or for a lot of the film, you are just staring at people's faces. Not, you know, it's not distracting in my opinion. It sort of adds to the to the terror, because well, it's very very expertly used later on in the film, and yeah, there are just some visual things that you know, I don't want to spoil them, but when they happen, the mixture of the sound and the visuals and the dread, it just works so well, and I'm a big fan of this film. So if you want something to scare you, I think this is the one. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy as these young adults, you know, go around an asylum and realize they made a big mistake. And that's, yeah, Gonjiam Haunted Asylum 2018. And that's it. So if you do end up watching one or maybe even all of these films, make sure to let me know what you think, because I think they're pretty good. And yeah, it's hard to find good horror films. It's filled with a lot of very bad trash. But I think these ones, for artistic reasons, for terror reasons, for horror reasons, are just highlights of a good list that I have of reliable horror films. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and have a happy Halloween. Ah ha 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 ha. Sorry.